Hello and welcome to G Fun Facts Online, where we dig into the most fascinating stories science has to offer. Today, we're becoming cold case detectives, but with a twist. Our crime scenes are thousands of years old, and our victims are our most ancient ancestors. We're diving into the incredible field of Paleo-Forensics, a science that gives a voice to silent witnesses and unravels the mysteries of prehistoric violence. Imagine a crime scene investigator. But instead of yellow tape and fingerprint dust, their tools are CT scanners and electron microscopes, and their evidence is bone. That's a paleoforensic scientist. Bones are like a durable hard drive, recording the story of a person's life, and especially their death. The key is distinguishing when an injury happened. An injury from long before death, what scientists call ante-mortem trauma, will show signs of healing, like a callus around a healed fracture. This tells us about a person's rough-and-tumble life, but the real smoking gun is peri-mortem trauma, injuries that happened at or around the time of death. These have sharp edges with no signs of healing, giving direct evidence for the cause of death. Scientists have to be careful to rule out post-mortem damage, which can happen from anything from a rockfall to a clumsy archaeologist. They use everything from X-rays to high-resolution scans to tell the difference. They can even use microscopes to see if a wound was caused by a blunt club or a sharp flint blade. Sometimes, they even find the murder weapon, like a stone arrowhead, still lodged in the bone. For a long time, many people imagined our early hunter-gatherer ancestors as peaceful savages, living in harmony. But paleoforensics is telling a different, darker story. Let's look at one of history's oldest cold cases. In a cave in Romania, scientists found a 33,000-year-old skull. Forensic analysis revealed two major head injuries. By running simulations, researchers concluded the fractures were consistent with two separate blows from a club-like object in a face-to-face fight. This is one of the earliest known homicides ever recorded. Fast forward to about 17,000 years ago in Italy. A man, nicknamed Tagliente I, was found with cut marks on his bones. It wasn't until recently, using 3D imaging, that the full story emerged. The marks were from projectile weapons. He was likely hit by multiple flint-tipped spears or arrows, possibly while he was running away from his attackers. This is some of the earliest, clearest evidence we have of an ambush. As society shifted from wandering hunter-gatherers to settled farming communities in the Neolithic period, the evidence for violence gets bigger and much more organized. More people, more competition for land and resources meant more conflict. And the evidence is chilling. Take the site of Nataruk, near Lake Turkana in Kenya. About 10,000 years ago, a horrific massacre took place. Archaeologists found the remains of at least 27 people, men, women, and children. The skeletons showed signs of extreme violence: crushed skulls, broken bones, arrow wounds. Some were even found in positions that suggest their hands had been tied, including a woman who was in the late stages of pregnancy. Nataruk is considered one of the earliest examples of organized, intergroup warfare. And it wasn't an isolated event. Across Europe, we find Neolithic mass graves. In Germany and Austria, sites from 7,000 years ago suggest entire villages were wiped out. At one German site, the killers not only used blunt force and arrows, but they systematically broke the lower legs of their victims, a sign of brutal torture or mutilation. Today, technology is adding another incredible layer to these investigations: genetics. At a 5,000-year-old mass grave in Spain, DNA analysis revealed that most of the bodies with violent trauma were men, suggesting they were warriors killed in a regional battle. In another mass grave in Croatia, this one 6,200 years old, genetic tests on 41 men, women, and children showed they were mostly unrelated. This wasn't a family feud. It was likely an indiscriminate slaughter of an entire community by outsiders. So what does all this tell us? The work of Paleo-Forensics isn't just a grim catalog of ancient murders. It's piecing together a more complex story of our past. It shows that large-scale warfare wasn't always a part of the human experience. It seems to have emerged and grown more intense over time, often driven by changes in how we lived. By listening to the silent testimony of the bones, we're forced to confront the darker side of human history. But we also gain a deeper, more nuanced understanding of our ancestors and the complex societies they built. It's a stark reminder of our capacity for conflict and the ongoing quest to understand its origins. Thanks for tuning in to G Fun Facts Online. Join us next time for another deep dive into the world of science.